Hey NFL fans, before we dive into today's hottest stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. From NFL News Now, the buzz around the league has taken a dramatic turn as whispers grow louder that the relentless QB hunter Myles Garrett is on the brink of joining the Philadelphia Eagles. The streets of Philly, always electric with football energy, estão praticamente fervendo como especulaco, with fans and analysts dissecting every nod, every phrase, every subtle hint leaked from people supposedly close to the situation. Although nothing has been officially stamped, the tone around insiders feels different. Almost as if everyone knows the direction the wind is blowing, but is just waiting for the formal announcement to burst onto the scene. The concept of Garrett wearing midnight green has turned from a wild fantasy into something the city is daring itself to believe, even though the entire story remains wrapped in mystery, nerves, and those classic NFL backroom vibes. The rumor machine has been running nonstop, building momentum with every passing hour, feeding both excitement and disbelief as Philly imagines one of the league's most feared pass rushers anchoring their defensive front. And while some fans try to remain cautious, the energy is undeniably shifting, creating the sensation that something huge is pulling itself into reality. What adds even more intrigue to the growing narrative is the way people around Garrett have been behaving. Carefully worded statements, cryptic social media posts, and an oddly strategic silence that almost seems louder than words. It's the kind of silence that suggests decisions have already been made behind closed doors, and everyone's just waiting for the right moment to strike with an announcement that would send shockwaves across the league. Philly supporters are analyzing emojis, dissecting interviews, replaying snippets of casual locker room banter, trying to read between lines that may or may not even exist. The way this rumor is circulating feels less like speculation and more like a leak springing from multiple directions at once. The type of leak that typically precedes something massive, whether intentional or not. The whispers have built a suspenseful story arc, fueling the belief that the Eagles might be ready to drop one of the boldest moves in recent memory. The entire situation has taken on the vibe of inevitability, like the league is collectively waiting for a puzzle piece to quietly lock into place. Adding fuel to the fire is the ripple effect running through Philadelphia's defensive personnel, who seem fully aware that the rumor is far from random chatter. Reports, although unconfirmed, have suggested players have been privately reacting to the possibility, speaking with a tone that gives fans even more reason to believe the move is far more real than any one anticipated a few days ago. Some have been described as energized, others as curiously excited, and none of these subtle leaks ever seem to make things quieter. Instead, each hint acts as gasoline thrown into a bonfire already raging with anticipation. The idea of pairing Garrett with Philly's existing defensive forces has analysts sketching out hypothetical alignments like kids mapping out treasure routes, imagining a defense that suddenly becomes a nightmare for offensive coordinators. Even though no one inside the building has stepped forward to confirm anything, that lack of denial only strengthens the sense that something major might be developing beneath the surface. The swirling speculation has made Philadelphia's front office the center of attention. Even though they've maintained a solid poker face through it all, observers have pointed out subtle behaviors, closed-door meetings, unusual staff movement, and a noticeable increase in the no-comment responses that often accompany delicate negotiations. It's the sort of atmosphere that forms when a franchise is about to make a defining statement, the kind that triggers a seismic shift in expectations. Fans are already imagining the energy that would pulse through the city if a player like Garrett were to officially step into the building. Imagining press conferences packed with flashing cameras and roaring applause. Social media has become a constant stream of speculation, with everyone from analysts to casual fans crafting theories about what kind of contract might be on the table, how the team would adjust its defensive scheme, and what this move would mean for the franchise's long-term plans. The rumor has transformed from mere noise into a citywide obsession. What makes the entire situation even more compelling is the emotional roller coaster fans are riding, switching between cautious skepticism and unrestrained excitement within seconds. On one side, the doubters argue that rumors of this magnitude often fade into thin air, dissolving just as quickly as they appeared. On the other side, the believers insist that the volume and consistency of the whispers are too strong to ignore. They point to how the story has refused to die down, instead snowballing to the point where even national commentators are addressing it with carefully phrased comments that avoid confirming anything while still fanning the flames. It's a delicate dance of speculation, hope, and tension, driven by the idea that a superstar defender might be preparing to shake the landscape by choosing Philadelphia as his next battleground. Every new mention, every insider's half smirk or evasive response, pushes the rumor deeper into the realm of possibility. And as all of this unfolds, one thing becomes undeniably clear: the possibility of Myles Garrett joining the Eagles has become the headline-dominating conversations in Philly and beyond. The scenario has created a sense of unity among fans who don't always agree, bringing them together under a cloud of electric anticipation. The thought of adding such a dominant force to the defensive front is enough to make even the most stoic supporters crack a smile of disbelief. Yet nobody can say with absolute certainty what the final outcome will be, and that uncertainty is the fuel that keeps the rumor alive. The city is caught in a cycle of refreshing feeds, checking updates, listening to every insider segment, all waiting for that one bombshell announcement that could flip the narrative from speculation to reality. Until then, the tension continues to rise, and the whispers only grow louder as the second wave of speculation rolls through the sports world. The narrative surrounding Myles Garrett and the Eagles continues to intensify, taking on a life of its own. What was once a simple rumor has evolved into a multi-layered storyline, complete with twists, secretive behavior, and unexpected voices chiming in from every corner of the football community. Former players, anonymous scouts, and even executives from unrelated teams have sprinkled in their thoughts, all hinting without fully committing that something big may be brewing in Philadelphia. These side comments only add more complexity to the saga, making fans wonder if this rumor is no longer just guesswork, but instead a carefully orchestrated build-up to a major announcement. The vibe drifting through the community feels almost cinematic, like everyone is waiting for the final act to unfold in dramatic fashion. Adding to the suspense is the sudden interest from media personalities, who usually stay far from rumor-driven stories. Their involvement has only made fans more convinced that there's substance underneath the noise. The way they discuss the situation, maintaining a careful balance between skepticism and intrigue, creates an atmosphere where anything seems possible. Some analysts have been particularly animated, debating hypothetical defensive strategies, imagining how Garrett's presence could reshape the identity of the team, and pondering how offensive lines around the league would have to adjust, even without solid confirmation. The discussions feel oddly concrete, as if the football world has subconsciously accepted the move as plausible. This collective shift in tone has given the rumor a depth that's hard to ignore, pulling in more attention with each passing hour. Meanwhile, the online community has turned the situation into a non-stop event, with fan pages, discussion boards, and social media timelines buzzing in ways usually reserved for blockbuster trades. Creative edits showing Garrett in Eagles colors are flooding feeds, sparking debates about what number he might choose, who would be his closest teammates, and how the locker room dynamic would evolve. Some claim to have inside sources, though none can be verified, and others simply spin their excitement into convincing narratives that spread faster than anyone can debunk them. It's become a fan-powered hype storm, blurring the line between reality and anticipation. The speed at which this rumor has taken root is startling, and yet completely fitting for a player of Garrett's magnitude, someone whose presence automatically elevates the gravity of any storyline he becomes part of. Amidst all this commotion, there's a growing belief that Philadelphia's front office is quietly enjoying the chaos. Their silence has served as the ultimate accelerant, giving fans permission to imagine every possible scenario without being shut down. It's a fascinating dance, one where the absence of denial feels almost like an affirmation. Observers have noted how the organization has been moving without revealing anything, maintaining its reputation for operating strategically behind the scenes. If the move is indeed real, then the front office seems intent on unveiling it on their own terms, in a moment designed to maximize impact. And if the rumor turns out to be nothing more than smoke, the front office has played it masterfully, feeding excitement without ever committing to anything. Either way, their handling of the situation has created a legend-like aura around the potential signing. As tension builds, fans have begun imagining the emotional eruption that would follow a confirmation. The roar of celebration, the rush of adrenaline, the widespread disbelief that one of the league's most dominant defenders might actually choose their city. It's a fantasy that feels increasingly tangible. Despite the lack of official word, interviews with fans reveal a mix of impatience, excitement, and cautious optimism, with many saying they don't want to get their hopes too high but can't help being pulled into the gravitational force of the rumor. The city thrives on big moments, and this one feels like the kind of seismic shift that could redefine expectations for the future. Even skeptics admit that the possibility alone has been thrilling enough to spark conversations that simply won't die down. Keep watching as we analyze more details about some rumors. As the story reaches its peak intensity, one truth stands above everything else. The rumor of Myles Garrett joining the Eagles has become more than news. It's become an event, a living, breathing narrative powered by anticipation, emotion, and the collective imagination of a fan base hungry for something monumental. Whether the move becomes official or fades back into the realm of almost, this moment has already left its mark on the city's football culture. Fans will remember the suspense, the hope, the endless decoding of clues, and the intoxicating possibility that one of the game's most feared defenders was preparing to call Philadelphia home. Until the truth comes out, all anyone can do is continue to watch, wait, and wonder as the rumor machines keep roaring, refusing to quiet down. The atmosphere around the league has shifted so dramatically that even people who normally stay disconnected from rumor talk are now being pulled into the gravitational force of this unfolding story. Coaches from unrelated teams have been dropping subtle comments during press appearances, not naming names, but clearly hinting at a massive defensive shakeup that could tilt the balance of power. The phrasing has been careful, almost strategic, as if no one wants to be caught confirming something they shouldn't, yet everyone wants to be part of the conversation surrounding the potential move. Fans have been analyzing these offhand remarks with the intensity of detectives solving a mystery, replaying audio clips and highlighting sentences that could easily be innocent, but somehow feel suspiciously intentional. This level of attention has created a surreal dynamic, where the rumor has grown beyond any one source, transforming into a phenomenon that feeds itself. The more people talk around it, the more convinced fans become that the possibility is real. And with each passing moment, the belief gains momentum, not because someone confirmed it, but because the silence and indirect commentary feel louder than any official statement could. In the midst of all this excitement, what stands out the most is the emotional roller coaster gripping Philadelphia itself. The city, known for wearing its passion like armor, has embraced this rumor as if it were a spark, capable of igniting an entire new era. People on the street are talking about it with a level of animation usually reserved for legendary signings, debating what it would mean not just for the defense, but for the identity of a franchise that thrives on intensity and grit. The possibility of welcoming a dominant force like Garrett has stirred imaginations in ways that transcend simple roster conversations. It's become a symbol of ambition, a statement that Philly is ready to chase something bigger, something defining. Bars, barbershops, and neighborhood corners have turned into echo chambers where theories bounce around endlessly, each one slightly more dramatic than the last. Even those trying to remain rational admit that the possibility feels almost perfect, like the kind of storyline that fate seems to orchestrate just to shake up the league. And as long as no official word comes out, the city will keep living in this suspenseful dream, convinced that something monumental could be one announcement away. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow NFL fans. Stay tuned for more updates only here on NFL News Now.